YouTube, Scott Off-Road. How you doing today? Guess what? This is happening. Well, yep, we're gonna try to do an unboxing here. I haven't done one in a while. MasterCraft seats. These are the Baja RSs with heaters in them. Ordered them from Quadratech about 2 weeks ago. I was told a couple months to get here, but nope, they got here. And what's neat, when I ordered them, I contacted MasterCraft because I got some information that part of the order was back ordered, and this is driving me nuts. And so I called to make sure that it was going to all ship at the same time because the heaters in the seats were back ordered. And turns out nothing was back ordered. It's just Quadratech and MasterCraft, their programs don't work together. So no big deal. They said they just got the order that morning. It'll take 3 to 5 days to get them shipped. Usually up to 2 weeks to ship them, but 3 to 5 days. Seats were custom ordered for me. I'm going to assume that this is the box of brackets for assembly. Box came a little damaged, but the seats look fine, so that's good. I really don't want to do too much of a install video on the seats because MasterCraft has a pretty good video already in place. The biggest issue I'm running into, and I got to call the heating manufacturer for it, is the wiring. With the wiring on this, you've got on the new MasterCraft for the heater, you've got a single female connection coming off, and then a protected loom with a male and a female and 3 spade connectors, and then you have another loom that has a male and nothing. What I'm figuring, just by looking at the colors and the way this is set up, is off this first loom, the male and the female go together. This end goes to wherever you put your switch with the spade connectors, and then this female goes to this male, and this gets run to your power. But I'm not 100% sure. The directions suck. Alright, we got all the seats put together. We had some issues here. First issue, the directions really weren't that clear. According to the video, this seatbelt bracket right here went above this bracket. Well, by doing that, the seatbelt didn't work with the seats. So I called MasterCraft, talked to them, sent them pictures, and what they said is this bracket's actually supposed to go underneath. So that's been converted. The other problem I had in doing this was the tilt forward mechanism. I had it all put together on the other seat and it just wasn't releasing right. Just didn't work. I couldn't figure it out. I reversed this lever and it works fine, but then when I went to do the driver's side, I realized that it needed to go the way I had it first off, so I'll have to take the seat back out and readjust the way that sits. The issue with it, the way it sits, without the adjustment, is if you look right here, how this goes bent to the front of the Jeep. With it reversed, it bends to the back and it presses up against the seat belt. All right, here's the initial with them inside the Jeep. They look great. There's a couple things about them. I talked about the switch being reversed. This is the way I reversed it on the passenger side. See how it's up against the seat belt? But it works. On the driver's side, as we walk around here, this is the way it looks like it should be with the lever up to the front. but it doesn't work. There's no give or anything in that. So I'm gonna have to take this seat out, flip that around, put that back in. Well, after we've had the seats in, I just drove down across town to pick up the kids from school, and this is what I've noticed. The seats sit, allow me to sit taller in the Jeep, so it kind of feels different. I'm not used to that. My last seats had 200,000 miles on them, so the cushions were wore out of them. I sat lower in the seats, and then these seats also have about an inch spacer in it for the assembly, and that gets you quite a bit of height now. I'm worried about my wife hitting her head. I'm also worried about me hitting my head up here on the roll bars. This is now actually something that's feasible. On occasion I've hit my head up here, but now I'm afraid I'm going to hit it quite a lot, so I'm going to have to put some padding on that. Also do that on the wife's seat as well. The other thing I noticed with it is the side bolsters are awful high on the seat bottom. Now, when I found these seats, I tried them out, but they were in a JK, and getting into a JK is a little bit different than a TJ. You don't have to climb as high into it, it doesn't seem. At least that JK I didn't need to. So in climbing into it, I didn't notice the side bolsters. They seemed awful low. This one, they seem a lot taller, and I think what's going to happen, and this has been a fear of mine for any of the seats I've put in this Jeep, or that I would put in this Jeep, is wearing out that side bolster just from sliding in and out of it. So we'll see how long they last. I know it's going to be an issue, but it's not a MasterCraft issue. It's not a whatever brand seat. I've looked at Corbos, I've looked at the MasterCrafts. I didn't really look much at the factory replacements, because if I'm going to spend this kind of money on seats, I wanted to get something that I felt was going to last me for a while. And granted, the factory seats lasted me 200,000 miles, but they weren't that comfortable. But the trade-off is now I sit taller in the Jeep. That'll take me a little bit to get used to before I don't notice it as much. And other than that, I like them. I like the quality. I like the look of them. I got a few little tweaks to do with them. I'm going to loosen them up to where they mount to the sliders, and just adjust how they sit on the slider, because they seem like they're cocked out a little bit to either the left or right, and I think that could be straightened out. And then I still need to put the heaters in, and I'm looking forward to that. I know my wife's looking forward to that. So all in all, I like the seats. Quality's there. Have to figure out how I'm going to mount the molly rack to the back of the seats now, because I just don't think it's going to work the way I had it originally. So we'll be doing some mods with that. But other than that, happy Jeeping. Have a blessed day, YouTube.